How does one become a database administrator? Being a database administrator, it's one of those specialized roles in information technology where a lot of skill and expertise is required. There's a lot of job security involved due to that special skill. There's good money involved as well, because it also goes back to you need quite some knowledge to become a good database administrator. Database administrators are in high demand. I mean, think about cloud and on-prem databases. It's just a good job in information technology. It's mentally rewarding and interesting. It really keeps you engaged. And overall, I really like the type of work as being a database administrator. So how does one become a database administrator? Hi, my name is Christoph Putz. I'm a senior IT manager. I have over 22 years of IT experience, including doing database administration. So looking at the different pieces and roles in information technology, database administrators, they're always a little different, a little special. And in this video today, I will go through the different steps that you need to take if you want to become a database administrator. We will look at if you want to make a career change completely into information technology and then specialized in being a DBA, or if you are already in college and you have like an IT related college degree in mind that you will graduate with, and then how can you become a database administrator, or if you work already in IT, be it in help desk, system administration, business analyst, whatever the role is really, how can you divert your career and become a database administrator? Before we go into this topic, if you don't mind hitting that like button and the subscribe button for this video, I would really appreciate it. It helps me with YouTube and you get also notified when I upload new videos. So databases play an important role really in day-to-day IT activities, not just in the cloud, but also on-prem. Everything is pretty much in databases. You run a web server, there's usually a database attached to it. You run an e-commerce store, guess what? There's a database. So you have your products in there, you have your customers, you have the transactions in there. Financial industry, database, yes. Healthcare, databases, yes, with patient data as an example, absolutely. And you can already tell there are so many different industries and areas involved, and there are different requirements. So financial industry has certain regulatory requirements. Same thing in the pharmaceutical or medical industry. So it's not just spinning up a database and having it sitting on the network. You need to secure it. You need to be able to audit the data, and you need to be able to delete certain data as well. So there are many, many different steps involved. And of course, this is not the only portion of what a database administrator does. But the main thing I want to point out, databases are pretty much in any type of industry. There are so many different use cases. There are small databases, large databases, transactional databases, databases in the cloud, database on-prem services, and you need to think about performance, restore and recovery just in case something goes wrong. So there are so many moving pieces. It's just really a great job from that perspective. So much variety. So now let's take a look. How can you become a database administrator? And with that, I'll switch over to my computer. So I'll be right back. So now we are at the computer, and here I have mapped out really everything that you need to know on your journey to become a database administrator. Before we go into how to become a database administrator, let's talk about what roles I have in mind so that you have an understanding of where I'm trying to lead you to. So on the left-hand side, I have the different database administrator roles mapped out, and I'm basing this on products of the most popular databases or the ones that are really market leading in many ways, because that's really where the jobs are, where the money is, and where the work is, of course. So let's start on the upper left-hand side. We have the DB2 database administrator role. Then we have the Oracle database administrator, the MySQL database administrator, and by the way, MySQL is owned by Oracle, so you will see this later on. Then we have the Amazon certified database specialist, which is, I want to say, maybe a hybrid on your role, on your journey to become a database administrator. And we'll go into more detail at a different time here. And then I want to say the most common one in a certain way is Microsoft SQL Server, and that's where you would be a database administrator. Microsoft is a big player in the market, but there's also a big shift happening towards the cloud. So there will be some additional input that I will provide in regards to that. So now we're going to start on the upper right-hand corner. So what I have prepared here really is that you're going to college either as part of you are coming from high school, you go into college, you're majoring in one of the IT-related topics or information services or systems-related topics. So the same thing applies also if you are going to college while working a job. And that doesn't matter if you're in your mid or upper 20s, in your 30s, your 40s, whatever the case may be, even 50s. So if you are going to college to work or to study in one of these areas, to graduate in one of these areas, that's where you would go. So this then also applies if you are working in IT already and you're just trying to up your game, or if you are a career changer. So we'll look at that. So the areas that I have listed out here where you want to focus your studies on are database management, computer science, computer information systems, a basic information technology degree, and management information systems. All I'm looking here is really a bachelor's degree, but you can easily take this up to have a master's in many of those as well, maybe with a little more specialization, but either one works. Underneath, I have the college education, and here I show you the career starter, the career changer, and the career upgrader. So what I said before, you're just in college after high school, you might not necessarily know which direction you're going, or you are working in a different industry altogether, so you are already a busy professional and you want to change careers to get into information technology. And then, as mentioned, you work already in information technology, and it doesn't matter if it's help desk, system administrator, whatever it is, you're upgrading your career with that additional college degree. So those two go close together, and I hope it makes sense if you look at it really. Yes, it doesn't matter really if you are a career starter, changer, or upgrader. So you focus on where do your studies take you. And of course, some colleges offer a database management specific course or bachelor's degree, or if you just go with something more generic where it's computer science, computer information systems, information technology, and so on, where you have some database administration as part of your credits that you need to earn. So just be aware of that. Now we're going towards the middle, towards the related work experience. And that's where I have the role. So this is for somebody who wants to upgrade their career and move into database administration. In a certain way, you could say that's also a career changer, but the assumption is that you already work in information technology. And this role or this area specifically does not necessarily have to go down that path with college education. So of course it can be done, but it can also be combined with IT certifications or simply just being at the right place at the right time to move into a role of a database administrator. So just keep that in mind. So the related work experience here, we're looking at the IT systems administrator as a great starting point for database administration. A business analyst, you work with data in one way or the other, so the transition wouldn't be too difficult from an understanding perspective. Of course, the actual DBA-related skills that you need to learn, there are quite a few. Then we're looking at the IT application analyst and administrator. Again, you're working with data and an application that potentially connects to a database. You have a broader understanding of database-related activities, and again, you have to learn the skill set. Data analytics, the same thing. And I'm even listing a help desk technician here. So help desk technician, initially it sounds like, what do I have to do with data there? That's not really the point. Sometimes as a help desk technician, all you need is really that foot in the door. You get to understand how the company works, the different departments, the applications. You potentially support certain applications. You potentially have some exposure to database and system administration. And then it's really just learning the skills to move into that area, or maybe just get into a junior type of role where the company trains you or sends you to training, or you go to training and then move on. So these are really the areas related work experience. So we take a look again here. So you can go through a college degree with college education to become a database administrator. You can become a database administrator simply through related work experience where you pick up additional skills, you study on the side, and then you move into that role. For both cases, be it with college education or related work experience, IT certifications can play a major role in your journey to become a database administrator. IT certifications can also play a major role if you are a career changer from completely outside of information technology. The challenges for you are first to get into information technology and then on top of that to become a database administrator. So it might not be as easy. But if you are able to pass these certification exams, and maybe more than one, you can already showcase that you have knowledge. And it's really then being patient enough, building a good resume to potentially land a role as a junior or mid-level database administrator. And I assume in that case, you would be doing some work on the side where you pick up the skills, where you have some hands-on experience, because that's what's missing if you come as a career changer without having hands-on experience. So, but let's look at these IT certifications, and they will match up with what I mentioned in the very beginning when we started looking at this diagram. What are the roles where you can become a database administrator? So DB2, Oracle, MySQL, Amazon, and Microsoft SQL Server. So we start with Microsoft here. And just for you to understand, all Microsoft SQL Server certifications have currently been retired. Microsoft doesn't have any active SQL Server certifications available. That might change in the future. It may not. A lot of the load and a lot of the work that Microsoft has with like databases, it's shifting into the cloud. And that's why I'm showcasing here the Azure Data Fundamentals and the Azure Database Administrator Associate roles. So both roles, both certifications get you into that database administration area. So I will put a link down in the description where you can take a look at Microsoft certification website and identify, is one of these two certifications something that you want to look at. You can also find study material about the SQL Server certification. So the last one was for SQL Server 2016. So that's quite a while ago. But to learn SQL, it might be just the right thing. And it's a very affordable way to pick up some knowledge and some skill set study material, because the study material is now, I want to say, outdated in a way, but there are still certain pieces in there that are very important for you to understand when becoming a database administrator. And that study material, that should be really, really affordable to get. Now we're taking a look at IBM. IBM with DB2, it's a large database. It's around forever in a certain way. And I have two certifications listed here. I have the IBM Certified Database Associate for DB2 11.1. And this is the fundamentals for Linux, Unix, and Windows. So the LUW, Linux, Unix, and Windows. The second certification, again for Linux, Unix, and Windows, is the IBM Certified Database Administrator DB2 11.1. So you have the associate and you have the administrator. So the easier way to get in is the associate certification, the fundamentals, and then you become the database administrator. Those two together can really make a big difference in your I want to say journey or approach to become a database administrator. So don't underestimate the value of having these two certifications. And IBM is a big player, so there is definitely room for a few more people to become a database administrator, and a few more people is a definite understatement. So now we look at Oracle, and Oracle, I mentioned this before, is the Oracle Database Administrator and the MySQL. So we start looking at Oracle Database Administration 2019 Certified Professional, nothing crazy here, but then we have a database version as the next one. So Oracle Database 12c Administrator Certified Professional. This video is from early September 2021, so if you watch it at a much later time, the number might have changed. The certification will most likely be the same, just for a newer version, so please keep that in mind. Then we have the Oracle Database 12c Administrator Certified Associate. So here you can take the Associate certification and then move up to the Administrator Certified Professional certification. Again, these carry a lot of value, and it's definitely an area where you can work as an employee, as a consultant, or even become self-employed. And then we have the Oracle Certified Professional certification for MySQL 5.7 Database Administrator. MySQL used to be an open source and open source database. There are still quite a few variants out there where this certification can become helpful as well, and really open up a broader employment market in a certain way, because not everyone runs the Oracle supported version. They might run an open source variant of the MySQL database, and they're usually based on the same structure and then slowly drift away from each other. So now, last but not least, I'm mentioning the Amazon AWS Certified Database Specialty Certification. So you're missing the word administrator, professional, associate. Take a look at the certification because Amazon is slightly different on this. This is more really from a broader perspective in regards to data and database management. It has to do with applications as well. So you want to take a look there. But keep in mind, Amazon is the largest cloud service provider, and they offer not just this one certification, but quite a few. And there is a lot of area for work within the Amazon AWS cloud. And having this specialty certification can really make you a hot commodity in that employment market. Plus, there's a lot of money to be made, not just with Amazon, with all these roles. Let's just recap. We're not done yet. You can go with college education, you can go with related work experience, or you can go with IT certifications, or a combination of all of the above to become a database administrator. Last but not least, I'm pointing out that there are boot camps and non-graduate college certifications for database administration available. I'm listing a few here. This is not an endorsement. The reason why is simply that a boot camp is usually a 2 to 5 day event where you are just drowning in information, potentially even go for a certification, or you get a certificate from a college or whoever is doing the boot camp. Or you get then to study additional weeks or months, and then you go for an official certification like Microsoft, IBM, Oracle, Amazon. So just to give you an idea, so this is like drinking from the fire hose. If you have no idea what database administration is and you want to get up to speed and you have $5,000-$7,000 hanging around that you want to invest, a bootcamp might not be a bad idea. But keep in mind, a bootcamp is really just drinking from the fire hose. It does not turn you into an expert, and you need extra time to study and to fully understand not just the basics of what database administration is, but then you also need to go in and try to get hands-on experience. So if you do a search for database administrator bootcamp, you will find several of those. Go and take a look. Again, there's no endorsement for a certain provider. You want to look at that program. It can be a jump start if you, let's say, you work as an IT system administrator and you want to become a database administrator. Then there's also an online data science bootcamp. Again, the same thing if you search for database administrator bootcamp or training, you will find these. Some are offered by regular colleges and universities, so there's definitely value in there, but it's just a certification from that college that you will get. It's not a certification from Amazon, Oracle, IBM, or Microsoft. It might be included, or you get a voucher to take some of those IT certification exams, but just be aware you might just end up with a certification from a certain university that says that you passed their proprietary bootcamp examination or whatever it is, or you attended a 5-day bootcamp. So you have to be very careful with that and really find out, okay, what does that certification represent? If it's something like Harvard, Cornell, or whatever, a really reputable university or college, it might be different just from a value that it has. So that's where the name, the value of that university carries a little weight. So now if you look at the larger picture, it's really, okay, you need to get some education, you need to get some work experience. You can kick the door open with an IT certification, but then you have to look at how do you have or get hands-on experience. And that's really the challenge for you if you want to become a database administrator. The easiest might be just to, let's say you go for related work experience. And that's what happened to me. I had to start working with databases as part of my role as a senior systems engineer. And it caught my interest, and it was very interesting work. And I learned a lot from it, that knowledge I used later on in my career as well. I didn't work as a database administrator as my primary role, but it was quite often a sub-portion of my job. So if you look at it really, college education, related work experience, that's probably your biggest and easiest way to become a database administrator. Just work-related experience, I would probably say the best option for you is just go for an IT certification. You probably are certified in some sort of technology already. Just pick one of those, maybe from a place where you work. Maybe they use Microsoft Azure or even SQL Server. or any of the other ones. That's the easiest. And then you can even potentially ask your manager or the department lead to see, hey, I want to become a database administrator, and see that they maybe support you, help you, even pay for training. When there is a job opening and you are the one that raises your arm that, hey, I'm here, I'm very interested, companies put value on your domain knowledge of understanding the company. There's much less training involved for understanding the broader company, and maybe a little more effort to turn you into that database administrator. Sometimes smaller companies offer a better option to get your hands-on experience. Yeah, picking the right company to work for. If you pick a smaller company where you are more a jack of all trades, you might have a better opportunity to do database administration. And that could lead to a dedicated role as a database administrator with a larger company down the road. So don't underestimate the value of, okay, you might not work for the largest or best known company, you might not make the biggest money, but what you learn as a jack of all trades, that carries a lot of value down the road. And then the IT certifications. In the end, I would say the Amazon certification sticks out a little bit, maybe the Azure one as well. Those two are more cloud based or cloud related, but any of these really, it does not necessarily matter which one you take, because it's more the basic understanding and the foundation that you gain from any type of these certifications. Of course, they are product specific, but in the end, you can find a job as a SQL database administrator by being Oracle certified. It might not be your primary area or vice versa, but it's really like companies are looking for somebody who's certified in a certain way, and you can fill the gaps easily. So I hope this gives you a good idea of how you can become a database administrator. I know you will probably have more questions, and I would love to hear your questions down in the comments below. I will also link to other resources and also a video that I made about a day in the life of a database administrator. So you can find that link up here, but it's also down in the description below. So if you want to learn more about how to become a database administrator, please check out my career coaching services as well. I will place a link down in the description below. I will help people to get into information technology or really work out a career strategy to take advantage of the opportunities that are offered in this field. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so as well. And then I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.